Let's start the show.
Hey guys, Pierre here from ACM Healthcare. Welcome to the first episode of the ACM Show ever, where we take a deep dive into our candidates, our clients, and of course ACM Healthcare. What better way to kick off the first episode than with our co-founders of ACM Healthcare, Archie, Carl, and Mark. Hello.
Hey.
Let's go straight into it before my managers told me to get back to work and I get in trouble. So what were you guys doing before you started ACM Healthcare?
So for me, I kind of fell into recruitment like a lot of recruiters I know and a lot of the team we have now. I was actually studying to be a designer in university.
Really?
Yeah, so graphic design, industrial design, and web design. But I think when my class graduated, only 4 of my classmates actually got jobs in the industry. So what I was doing through university, I was working part-time in recruitment, and my boss said, just work with me full-time until that something comes along and you can go work using your degree. And yeah, that something never came along. So from then on, I just kind of stayed in recruitment. I bounced from agency to agency, doing different types of sectors until I fell into healthcare. And I've been in healthcare recruitment for the last bit over 12 years now.
Wow. How about you, Archie?
Before healthcare recruitment, I was working in accounting. And me and Carl were friends. Accounting wasn't my forte. I always wanted to work in sales kind of environment. And that kind of aligned with my personalities. So I kept interviewing to different recruitment jobs, and then I had an opportunity with Carl's organization to interview. And that's how I started my journey. Yeah, so pretty much the same time as Carl.
So you sort of just fell into it as well?
Yeah, it was like...
Carl convince you to...
No, like I pretty much like reached out to Carl that, hey, I wanna try recruitment. I took a massive pay cut to get into recruitment. That is a funny story itself. And that's how I started my career in recruitment, pretty much side by side, working with Carl.
How about you, Mark?
So being an immigrant son, a very good immigrant son, you're either a doctor, a lawyer, or an accountant. I was an accountant before I was an ACM. I'm a chartered accountant by trade, and when we actually founded ACM, I was in London working for Barclays. What a life.
So why did you decide to start ACM Healthcare?
Because I've been doing healthcare recruitment for the last over a decade now. I was in a different company, UK inbound agency. They were pretty big in Australia. This story I remember distinctly because I was overseas at the time. Archie had started work for me for us about 3 years before I went overseas. And I got a call from him, and my manager and mentor in that company actually had left. So I thought, you know what, it's a good opportunity to kind of step up, kind of try to fill his shoes. But when I got back from my holiday, the job was just a string of broken promises. So at one point I looked at it and there was no growth for me. So I'm like, enough's enough.
So that was it? Like
that was the trigger point for me when I wanted to kind of do things on my own. There was no more development there, and I really wanted to, try something different. So did the right thing, went on a career break, traveled, went overseas, came back, and the timing was right because Mark was coming back from London, and we kind of just sat down one evening and said, should we do this after, spitballing a bunch of business ideas.
Yeah, wow. So you decided to start a recruitment agency.
I think we also saw a gap in the market, and it was a great opportunity. In Australia, recruiters pretty much known as a second-hand car salesman. We added the human element, which is look at people as people. Don't look at candidates as a dollar sign. Don't treat the clients, when is the next invoice coming? We were more about connecting people to a job where they're actually going to go and make a difference in the community, because we're actually recruiting at that time and still now healthcare professionals. So we took our job in a way that we are actually making a difference by employing a physio or an occupational therapist or a nurse. They're actually going out there and making someone's life better. and we thought that there was a gap. We can do better with our ideas, and that pretty much aligned with our that convinced us in a way that we should do something better.
Yeah, definitely. Because I know that one of the mantras is helping you help others.
Yeah.
And that was very important for when you were training me, that we actually treat them like humans instead of numbers.
Yeah.
And that was a big part of my training.
And like I said, I was in accounting before, and Mark can also probably attest to the same thing. We used to see a lot of recruiters, so I know how it feels to be a candidate. And when you go as a candidate to a recruitment company, you feel that you're just a number to them.
Yeah.
I used to feel that. Broken words, I'll call you but never call, never hear from them, and lots of promises but you never hear anything.
Yeah.
In my career, Carl trained me and our mentor trained us in a different way. It was always the human element, but and we made it better with our own formulas, and that was the inception point.
Yeah, even if it's bad news, make sure you're always communicating. I think it's the most important thing. Awesome.
Yeah, well, personally for me, why I started ACM is ever since I could remember from when I was a child, I used to tell my parents that I wanted to do something on my own and run a business, which was very taboo when growing up, because being an immigrant child, it's not what you do. Go get a job and you do that. But I've always wanted to create our own lane. And building what Carl said was, we actually spoke about our business ideas even prior to me going to London for a long time. We've known each other since high school, so it was always spitballing ideas. And as Carl said, the stars aligned when I came back from London, and it was something that we wanted to do, and our personalities sort of complement each other. And not going to rehash on what they've said, but why we started is we saw an opportunity in the market, and to make a difference and create our own lane.
Oh, wow. 100%. So what was the first year like starting your own company?
For those who have started a company, they know what the first year's like. For those that haven't and looking to venture into that, whatever title you want to give yourself, and we see a lot of people call themselves owner and founder and all that stuff. I like to call myself the chief firefighter. The first year is just putting out fires and problems, and it feels like Mount Everest. But if you're true to the goal and you're connected and together, the first year you guys will get through it. And the first year is always the most toughest, but it will set the foundation for the company going forward.
Yeah, wow. How about for you guys?
You take that one.
If I'm going to sum it up, the first year of starting ACM, I'll rehash on Mark's point. You're pretty much a firefighter, but at the same time, you're also the one starting the fires. It's a lot of trial and error, but what really happened was the first 12 months was you don't know where your next paycheck's coming from. You need to rely on your network quite heavily. I think I maxed out 3 credit cards. I was awake from 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. trying to get things done with Mark and Archie, and just stressing whether it was a good idea or not.
Wow.
And the late night.
Yeah, I remember one particular event when at 3 o'clock in the morning at Mark's parents' house, we were just looking at each other thinking, what the hell are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Where are we going from here on? Like, are we going to get to a stage of going to bankrupt ourselves?
It's very scary.
Yeah, and at one point, Mark looked at us, was like, what are you guys going to do? And it's like, we have so far in, we're all in. If we too need to bankrupt ourselves, we will. And you just back us up. And that was the trust, that was the bond and that was a point that I will always carry in my heart. That was a beautiful moment. At 3 o'clock in the morning at his parents' house on the kitchen bench top, we were just sitting and thinking, what's tomorrow's going to look like? And when I mean tomorrow, it's not the next 24 hours, it was the next 6 months, 12 months. And we were at that stage that Carl, myself, we maxed out credit cards. I left home, like pretty much we're practically living at each other's house. It was a very, very vital point That bit I will always carry in my heart.
Yeah, wow. You guys sort of started in a bedroom, then to a dining room, then to a
Yeah, Carl's living room. Carl's parents were kind enough to lend us the living room, and Mark's parents were very kind to gave us the formal dining room with whiteboards, and yeah, we were always there. Either half day Mark's house and half day Carl's house. Yeah.
Starting from the bedroom to now, it's kind of serendipity because last year we actually all reverted back to working in our bedrooms.
That's true.
So
Just separately now.
yeah, kind of grew on that experience, but working from our bedrooms with Zoom.
Yeah, it was very familiar already when we had to get into lockdown. Yeah. So, running a company with 3 people, how do your personalities actually mesh together? I mean, I could answer this, but I'd love to hear it from your opinion.
Mark used to say the strongest shape is the triangle.
Iron Man said that.
Yeah, and we are like a triangle. Our personalities are very diverse, and I believe the best way to describe us, we are like a triangle. We're a tripod. We always balance each other. Our ways of doing things is like we don't take anything or do anything behind each other's back. We put it out on the table and we fight it out. And you guys have witnessed a lot of our verbal discussions where it's heated, it's passionate, and we get things done by doing that. Yeah. So we kind of complement each other.
Yeah. I think like when it's in the office, you guys are arguing, whatever it is. It doesn't end. It keeps going. Even when you get home, you're still messaging each other, trying to make the right decision for the company. So, how about for...
Yeah, I'll build on that. The only thing I'll build on that is the reason why we operate that way is I find that conflict in the right manner can achieve a resolution quicker than being PC. So if you all have a common goal and you're fundamentally connected at that level, when you have conflict, it's not personal, it becomes what's best for ACM.
Yeah.
Right? So then you get to a resolution quicker because you're not tiptoeing around each other and being political.
Yeah, of course.
Right? So that's just how we operate, and we do it openly, and everyone can see that we've got ACM's best interest at heart.
Definitely.
I agree with both of them. But if I was to look at it from a running operational kind of perspective, the skill sets we will provide as the management team for this business kind of complements it really well. Archie's really good in like the sales and business development, relationship management aspect. Mark is really good in the finances and the forecasting aspect. And my background is 360 recruitment. Before that was operational and workforce management. So, I mean, we're a conduit. So it allows us to make decisions fast, as you guys probably see. It allows us to move fast and change the sales really quickly without really much disruption.
Yeah, so I guess you guys both individually specialize in your own fields. It doesn't really, I guess, conflict that much, and it works more like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, and of course the core of our brand or our business is, I always said it, it's about people, it's about us. It's about 3 friends coming together, working together. A lot of the times we hear that don't go into business with your mates. And we actually went against that advice, and 3 of us were mates before all of this.
And you too?
So, and I think that is our foundation, that is our core, because that trust, that bond, that brotherhood is basically, we took it to a different level. Now we're not only about being friends, it's about being responsible, being accountable, not only for us, but also for the people that are working with us,
that have trusted us
and trusted us with their careers, and people who trusted us with their businesses. So that is one of the foundation, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. A bit of a tangent, because I mean, when you guys started the company, it was just the 3 of you. Now that you've started building a team, to where it is now, if you think back where you started, it was just you 3. And then now where you have a solid team of consultants, how does that affect your decision making now? Is it the same? Do you approach it the same? Because obviously it was your risk at the start. Now there's a lot of people under you.
I mean, for me, the risk has always been the same. whenever you hire anyone or employ anybody, you take on that risk anyway.
Yeah.
So as leaders of the company, if anything goes wrong, automatically it's always your fault if you didn't have the foresight to get it, to see it. You'll be accountable for every decision that's made, even if you didn't make it, because you're the ones providing like the roof over the head, the employment. It comes down to us three.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and it's trust.
Yeah.
It's trust. Like, you trust your gut, you trust the people when they work with you. Especially in this environment, if you can't trust them to work from home, why hire them?
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
it goes both ways, but like Carl said, we're ultimately responsible. So, whenever there's a problem, we just got us three to blame, no one else.
Wow. So can you talk about the vision you had for ACM?
For me, when we first started, you always have really high expectations of yourself. You want to make this the most well-known company in the market. You want people to know you. So when we first started, that actually was the vision, was to be one of the most well-known agency consultancies in the country with what we do. But I wanted to do it really different from my previous experience. I told myself I'd keep all the promises I made to my staff, and if I couldn't, I'd be very upfront on why. And the second one was just to help as many people as possible in the sectors we kind of service, really, yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, that vision hasn't changed. So when we wrote down the mission statement for ACM, and we put it pen to paper, it was to be the number one healthcare recruitment agency in Australia. And that hasn't changed. And also, the only amendment I make to that is to retain that position. And then it was like, well, what was our motto? What did we want to live by? And it was helping you help others. And that hasn't changed. That vision hasn't changed, and I don't think it will change. So putting our staff and our clients first is and will always be the vision.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Our core belief hasn't changed. It hasn't moved. That's why we rock up every day, day in, day out, with you guys next to us, and we try to achieve the same goal that we had 8 years ago. We still haven't reached there. We're still working towards that goal, and even if we reach there, I don't think we ever thought that we're a lot more known now than before, but we still haven't changed our position. We're still looking at that position. Even if we reach that position, I think we're always going to look at it's not enough.
Yeah.
We're always going to be working towards that goal.
Definitely, outputs increase, but the culture hasn't changed, which is awesome.
Which is also the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
As you grow, things change, but it's about making sure that the culture stays the same. And whatever it takes to do that, we'll make it happen.
Definitely. So if you could describe ACM in one word, what would it be?
I'll let you guys take this one first. I got a great answer.
I say serve.
Together.
Help.
Definitely. Serve together and help.
Yeah.
We should change it from helping you help others. What do you reckon?
I think those three words mean that statement.
Yeah, it does. Well, guys, that's it. That was the first episode of ACM Show, where we took a bit of a dive into ACM Healthcare's roots with the co-founders of ACM Healthcare. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you soon.